Do you have a hobby? I have a few hobbies. Honestly, pretty much everyone has at least one hobby. Photography, drawing, carpentry, anything. The person I'll be talking about, well, he had several hobbies. He liked archaeology. He liked to build stuff with his hands. He liked to sew. He was Edward Theodore Gein, the butcher of Plainfield. The people in the small town of Plainfield, Wisconsin could never have guessed what kind of monster lived among them. They thought Ed was a quiet, nice guy. A little odd perhaps, but nice.
How long have you known Mr. Gein? 7 years. What kind of a man did you know him as?
Well, Manning's a nice man, just like anybody else. The only difference I'd say in the man, he seems to be a little hot.
They would all find out the truth all too soon. Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Norman Bates from Psycho, Buffalo Bill from The Silence of the Lambs.
Rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
These iconic characters were all styled after one man, Ed Gein, and you're about to find out why. First, a little background on Ed Gein. His father died in 1940 while battling his alcoholism, which left him to be raised by his mother, Augusta. Augusta was very religious, Old Testament religious. She told her sons that besides herself, every woman was a prostitute. Then, on 1944, Ed's older brother Henry died due to suspicious circumstances. Ed reported his older brother missing while they were burning away marsh vegetation. They found Henry with no burns but bruises on his head. No further investigation or autopsy was performed, but it is now believed that Ed killed his brother, as Henry was known to speak ill of their mother. Shortly after Augusta suffered a paralyzing stroke, Ed took care of her until her death on December 29, 1945. Author Harold Schechter said it best in his novel Deviant, the shocking true story of the original Psycho, with this. He lost his only friend and one true love, and he was absolutely alone in the world. Ed Gein pretty much kept to himself at his family home. That is until November 16, 1957, when 58-year-old Bernice Worden was missing. She runs the local hardware store. Her son noticed the cash register was left open, as well as bloodstains on the floor. The last receipt that was written out was for Ed Gein for a bottle of antifreeze. The police head over to Gein's home to investigate. It's located in a secluded area on the edge of town. The doors were all locked, all except the woodshed door. It was difficult as there was no electricity, so the officers were using their flashlights, and then one of the officers bumped into something. That something was Bernice Worden, decapitated and strung up like a deer. Ed Gein was arrested later that evening but would say nothing to the police. The discovery of Bernice Worden's body was difficult for everyone to believe, but once they entered Gein's home, it just got even worse. The house was in complete disarray, garbage piled onto more garbage. The police eventually found body parts, human skulls turned into bowls, and several chairs which were upholstered using human skin. They even found masks made of the faces of women, stuffed with paper and hung up on the wall. One of the officers noticed a brown paper bag with what looked like human hair sticking out of it. When he looked inside, it was a woman's face. Another woman who went missing in 1954, Mary Hogan, a local tavern owner. Once the police confronted Gein with what they found in his home, he was more than willing to tell them everything. His one request? A piece of apple pie with some cheese on top. He admits to the police that Bernice Worden and Mary Hogan were his only murder victims. He later denies the memory of killing Mary, however, even though her head was found at his place. Even so, where did he get all the other body parts from? Grave robbing. Gein admitted to robbing at least 9 grave sites from several cemeteries in the area. He stated that he would be in a trance-like state, and then dig up fresh graves of women who resembled his mother, and take them back to his place. He recalled that on at least 30 of those nighttime excursions, he snapped out of it and went back home, empty-handed. Besides all the trinkets that Ed Gein made from the skin and bones of the women he dug up, what else was he doing? Well, he started to make a woman's suit from the skin of the corpses. He wanted to become his mother. At trial on November 21st, 1957, he was charged with 1 count of first-degree murder. He pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. Gein was found mentally unfit for trial and he was sent to the Central State Hospital for the Criminally Insane, which is now called the Dodge Correctional Institution. On November 7, 1968, Ed Gein was found mentally fit to stand trial, where he states that a gun he was looking at in the warden's store accidentally went off, killing Bernice. That doesn't really explain why she was found by the police in this condition. Gein was found guilty, but at a second trial about Gein's sanity, he was found not guilty by reason of insanity. Ed Gein would spend the rest of his life in a mental institution. On March 27, 1958, Gein's home was destroyed by fire. Arson was suspected, but nothing was done about it. Rumors were being passed around town that this house of horrors was to be used as a tourist attraction. Seems some folks didn't want that. The car that Gein used to haul the bodies from the cemetery was sold for $760 to a carnival sideshow. People were charged 25 cents just to look at it. Lung cancer eventually took Ed Gein on July 26, 1984. Many people who visited his grave chipped parts of it away for a souvenir. There's a kind of irony in that. The headstone itself was stolen in 2000 but found a year later, in Seattle. Even though his grave is unmarked, it is known that he was buried between his parents and brother. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please don't forget to hit that like button and then subscribe. My name is Rick, and I'll see you next time on Dissecting Murder.